Hi there, welcome to Yoga with Teresa. Today we're going to do some yoga moves, but we're also going to do things that are going to support your yoga practice. So there'll be things that look like yoga asana, but they're going to be things that we're going to hold and work and align and really get our core working. So we're going to work a lot of our legs today. We'll do a little bit of abdominal work as well and a little bit of arm work. But our main emphasis is going to be more in our legs. So I highly recommend looking online or getting an anatomy book, because it's always kind of nice to get an idea of what's going on in your body, to really understand how your body works and just knowing what muscles are there. So we're working in our quadriceps. So the quad means four, and there's four muscles that come down here, main muscles, and they're really big muscles. In fact, the names of the quad muscles are vastus, and then on there like medialis, vastus, and different muscles, so that vastus, vas means huge. So if you know a little Latin, the names kind of make sense. So four muscles. Then we're also going to work the adductors and the abductors. So I was remembering what those are. The ad is inside, like you're squeezing, adding in, ab is out. Some of the abductors and adductor muscles are long and thin, and some are shorter. So most of our upper leg muscles connect somewhere either to the upper thigh bone, and there it kind of sticks out, the trochanter, or muscles can connect to the pelvis. And then when we come down, we have our free floating knee here, but there's things that support that knee. So if you have knee issues, working in the quads is really helpful to keep your knees strong. All right, so that said, let's go ahead and get started. I've got 2 blocks today, highly recommended. If you don't have blocks, you can do it without blocks, and just wherever I'm using blocks, you'll just have your hands on the mat. But if you have blocks, again, highly recommended. The main tools that you want to have for yoga practice, mat is number 1. Blocks would be the second thing I would invest in. I have a stretchy band today too, a theraband. These are really easy to use. If you've ever done any physical therapy, you might even have one of these sitting around. Lots of different stretches and strengths. And if you're in town in Morgan Hill, I do still have some of these around, and you can hook up with me and I'll get you some. The other option is you can order them online, all kinds of places. Regular strap is good to have as well, but if you have to choose between a regular strap and a stretchy band, I'd get a stretchy band because you can use it as a strap as well. You might want a blanket, but you don't have to have a yoga blanket. A beach towel, a bath towel can work just as well. So for me, mat, blocks, and stretchy band are the 3 tools that I can't do without. All right, so we're gonna start with setting our stretchy band aside. We'll come back to that in just a little bit. And we're gonna set our blocks aside for a moment and get warmed up here. So I like to always get kind of a head to toe warm up whenever I'm doing my core. When we do yoga, a lot of times we work into some stretches kind of slow and get there. But with our core, I want to jump right in and get working here. So we'll start with shoulders, roll the shoulders up, forward, down, and back, and just do a couple shoulder rolls. So we're just trying to kind of warm up the main joint areas, go the other direction. Just feel the breath, and then take your arms out wide and stretch the fingers really wide. Take the arms up overhead and back down. And we'll do that again. Bend the knees, take the arms up with a great big inhale, exhale, arms down. And then working a little bit into the waist. So we're just gonna bend side to side a couple times. Just kind of feel those abdominal muscles start to lengthen and work. And then let that go, and then we're gonna take like pressing back into chair pose. So we're just working into our hip flexors now, just kind of bend, and you'll feel the knees working. So pay attention to these long quad muscles. What are they doing as you do this? They're getting a little work in here already too. Bend back and up. All right, we're gonna come down to the knees. Take your legs a little bit wider, put your hands on your knees, and then just take kind of this rolling around side to side. You might feel a little creakiness in there like mine are today. So we're gonna get that creakiness out and then go the other direction. So when we're inactive, everything kind of pools, right, and gets still and stiff. So we want to always keep our bodies nice and supple. Come on up. Okay, so for the ankles now, we're just going to come up and down, a couple more times. And then hold up. See if you can keep up really high. Whoop, if you come down, that's okay. Bring the arms up, reach, and lower the arms, lower the heels. All right, keeping the legs a little bit wider maybe. We're going to do a standing cat-cow. Hands on the knees, fingertips in, heels of the hands press away. So just as if you're on your hands and knees, we're going to inhale and press forward, working through the spine. Exhale, tuck and round. One more that way. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, tuck and round. And release. And then we're going to take this into a little twist. I like my legs really wide. I'm going to dip my right elbow over to the left and press open my knee. So I'm getting a little bit of openness in the inner thigh as well. Take 2 more breaths. Come back to center. Exhale to the other side. Take a breath. Inhale to center and release and come on up. Okay, heel toe your feet together and we're going to grab a block. So just one block. If you don't have a block at home, you can do this without a block. You can give a little squeeze. I would also suggest though if you don't have a block, then maybe roll up a small towel so that you have something to kind of squeeze on. And the block's a little wide, so a towel might be really nice here. Okay, so I'm going to turn here long ways on my mat so you can see. Now I want my feet to be parallel. I want to pull my belly in a little bit. So we're going to start to work in a chair pose. We're going to press back. I'm going to start with hands at heart center so you can see how that looks. Relax the shoulders, press back, and come up. So we're going to work with our breath. Now if you want to coordinate arms with that, you can do the arms and lift it. You can either keep hands at heart center or lift the arms. Press back and come up. So what we're trying to do here is really pull our belly in, really press back, and we're feeling the quads working, feeling the belly engage. Working with our breath, we want to really be careful with the knees. So we want the quads and the outer thigh and the inner thigh to really support that knee area. One more. And release, come on up. Okay, so we're going to go on our mat long ways, facing the side. We're going to come into chair pose and we're going to take a little walk to the side. Hands at heart center, sit down. Press back, keep a squeeze on that block. So I'm putting my feet a little closer together to start. So I'm really squeezing hard on that block. It's engaging inner thighs as well as the quads. The quads aren't going to work quite as hard here then. We're going to lift weight off the foot, step, and squeeze and come over. So I'm going right to left. You might be going left to right. That's okay. Back and forth. So make sure you stay in that chair pose. So it's a little tiny lift and lower. So we're just this subtle movement in our legs, but it's a little hard, right? A little more, if you go down a little more, it's a little more work. Come up a little bit less. So make your way to the far edge of your mat, and then pause there. We're going to sink way down, come up part way, and take our walk to the other side. Walk it over. So now, by now you're probably really feeling those quads working, but keep working on the inner thighs. So we're even working way down in here in that lower leg, right? To make that step side to side. Feel that too. Keep pulling in the belly. Keep working the core. Keep breathing. So once we get to the other side, again, we're going to sink it way down and then come on up. And release. Take that block away. Set it aside for a moment. We're going to use it here in just a little bit. So if you want, you can set them on top of the mat. Grab your strap. And we'll get a little upper body, a little stretch working here. Have the theraband, the stretchy band here. Bring it up overhead. Okay, now if you don't have a stretchy band and you have just a regular strap, you could use that, but you're not going to get that extra stretch. I'm going to pull the band and come down to about my shoulder height. Open up in my wrists here. Stand up nice and tall. Bend the knees slightly. Pull the belly in. Take a lean over to whatever side you want to go to first is fine. And hold. Keep stretching the band. Come back to center. Take it to the other side and hold and back up. Okay, so we're gonna get some work here. So we're gonna have the band wide up above. We're gonna pull it down and release it up. Make sure that you're staying nice and tall and not leaning back or forward. Knees are slightly bent. We're pressing into our feet, keeping the neck long and breathing. One more. Release. Bring the band down. Okay, we're gonna work a little bit in our quads while we do this band. So I'm stepping with my right foot on the band, and I want the band to be nice and flat. Don't let it get ropey. I'm gonna step back with the left foot. Okay, from here, we're in a high lunge, right? It doesn't have to be really big. You can have it short, you can have it bigger. If you need some extra stability, you can do warrior one with the foot down. A little more challenge with the heel lifted, and then all the toes will face forward. Okay, so we're gonna sink down a little bit. So we're working by holding our body in this shape. We're gonna have our hands walk down so they're close to the thigh. Okay, press in, keep the knee over the ankle. Don't let that knee lock in. Stay tall, pull the belly in. Lock your elbows to your side. You're gonna pull the band up, bicep curls. Keep it up, pull. A few more, pull, pull, and pull. Release, and then we're gonna have our hands at our side. Now this time we are gonna come into warrior one stance, so put your foot down on the mat. Make sure your feet are nice and stable, knee over the ankle. Stand up nice and tall. So as you're doing this, you're gonna feel a stretch right here. That's what we want. Okay, so we're gonna work in our triceps. Make sure the band is still steady on your foot. Elbows stay close still. We're gonna pull and down. So they're going out a little bit, but we don't want them to go way out or way out to the side. So we pull and down, pull and down. Keep that going. A few more. Pull, down, pull, down, and hold. All right, come up off your heel and pivot. Take a step. Keep the band where it's at. So we're gonna do one more thing here. I'm just turning so you can see. You can stay where you are. We're gonna hang onto the band. I'm gonna press into my supporting leg. So that's left for me. If you start with your other foot, that's fine. The band foot is gonna come up and you're gonna hold here. Now you're gonna tighten on the band. Arms are gonna stay locked at your side, elbows locked. You're gonna press that foot down, lift it up, come back. Lift the knee up, bend it, press the foot to the ground, extend the legs straight forward and back. A few more. So we got a balance challenge going here. If you need to tap that foot down, tap it down. Just tap it down in between. If you can keep it floating, that's the challenge. Keep it floating. But anytime it needs to, just let it set down for a moment and come back in. All right, one more. Press and release and back and let that go. Okay. We're gonna come to the second side. Shake your legs a little bit, switch your band to the other side. So we're gonna get our reps with our arms in here. Take a step back with your opposite leg. So for me, I have the band under my left foot and my right foot's back. Check your alignment, knee over ankle. Lifting the back heel if that's feasible. If not, you can put that foot down and be in a warrior one stance. Okay, tighten up on that band a little bit. Stay tall. Pull the belly in, get steady. You can use your gaze and your breath. So we're feeling this nice stretch in our back leg now. Bicep curls, elbows lock in, curl, release, curl, release. So these bands have different resistance depending on the color. Different companies have different colors. This theraband, the green, it's about medium. There's a blue that's a little harder. And then you get into, I think black is the next one, much, much harder. It's also red and yellow, which are way easier. They just have different resistance. One more and hold. Okay, pause here. And then we're gonna put that back foot down to hold steady. So we're in our warrior one. And get your steady gaze. Here we go, tricep pull-ups. Pull, release, pull, release. So you should feel it mostly in the back of the arms, but you're gonna get a little bit in the shoulders. Your forearms are working too. We're even gripping that band, so our hands are working. One more, and release. And come on forward. Keep the strap where it is. Make sure it's nice and wide. Stand up nice and tall, so we're gonna do that balance leg lift. Put the weight in your supporting leg, stand up tall, pull the belly in. Okay, leg comes up, bend the knee, press it down, lift it away straight, come back, bend the knee, lift, press it down, come away straight and back. And again, lift, press, away, back. Lift, press, away, back in. One more. Knee lifts, press down, extend, come back, and release. Okay, good job. Take a little roll of the head, set your band aside, shake your fingers out. Sometimes you hold that grip a little tight, so we'll let that go. But we're going to use our blocks now. We're going to do some lunging and some other things here. Warrior one and some pyramid pose. I like to often use them on the medium level. You've got tall, medium, and short. So there's different levels you can use the blocks. Standard block, I believe this one's 3 inches thick, might be 4. So you can see, like, if you have it this way, way different than this way, than this way. So play with that. If you don't have blocks, you could find like a hard, like a box or something. I have a hard time finding a substitute for blocks. Piece of wood would work, totally would help, but make sure it's wide enough. Okay, so let's have those blocks in front of us. So the first thing we're going to do is stand up nice and tall. Take an inhale, bring the arms up. On your exhale, you're going to fold, bring your hands through heart center and fold down. Now just pause here. This is just going to be more of a little bit of a stretch. So Uttanasana, forward fold, bring the head close to the knees, and then just start walking a little bit, bend one knee and straighten the other leg. Just kind of go back and forth like that for a moment. And then fold a little bit more. See if you can bring your hands behind and fold in nice and tight. Then release and come up. Bring your hands to the blocks. So we're in this half lift, hands on the blocks, reaching forward. Now, if you don't have blocks, okay, so your hands could come here on the mat, on the fingertips. All right, so then from here, we're gonna start to hinge our leg back. So I'm gonna step back a little bit because I'm not very long. I was a little scrunched. So be sure there's a lot of length in the body. The chin's tucked a little bit. So you don't wanna lift your head up and look at something in front of you. You wanna look down. Okay, make sure your feet are parallel. We want to keep the pelvis level. This is our pelvis leveling practice. You're going to hinge your right foot back, lower it down. Hinge your left foot back, lower it down. Just go back and forth like that a little bit. This is a little warm up. One more set. And release. Now we're going to step the right foot forward between the blocks, left foot back. Now, if you'd like, this is where you could lower the blocks, just depending on your comfort level. All right, I want my knee over my ankle. I want my back leg lifted. We're going to really lengthen in the body here. And we're starting to move. So what we're going to do is this movement. We're going to lower the back knee to the mat, just barely touch it. Lift it back up, and then we're going to straighten the front leg and repeat. Come forward, so you're in your lunge, and go slow enough that you stay in your form. Knee down, knee lifts. Leg straightens, forward, knee down, knee lifts, straighten the front leg, bend back to your lunge. One more, knee down, lift, straighten the front leg, come forward in a bent knee. Okay, now we're in our lunge, and I'm going to come up a little higher. So I'm going to bring my blocks with me. I'm going to come up nice and tall, and adjust the legs as needed. So I want to be steady in that front leg. Spread your front toes and then start to come up all the way up, all the way up. Hands come to heart center. So we're in our high lunge. Sink it in here. Okay, we're going to work in that back leg now again. Hands can stay at heart center. If you want to challenge, arms can lift. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bend and lift just 3 times. Bend and lift, bend and lift. Hands to heart center. Take a moment to get steady. Hands behind the head, elbows wide. We're going to do a twist here. So you're going to twist to the bent knee, twist, 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 come back to center. And again, twist, center, twist, center. Stay steady. One more. Release. All right, arms down to your blocks. Hold in your lunge here. lengthen. Okay, inner thigh squeeze. We're just gonna squeeze those inner thighs as much as we can and release. 2 more. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Okay, step your back foot forward, lengthen the front leg. So we're in a pyramid pose now. Okay, check the alignment. There's a very, very, very little angle on that back leg. And your feet are like on railroad tracks. Okay, want to come up long here, long back. Again, we don't want the legs to come way forward. We want to be kind of looking at our feet. Pull your belly button in. Okay, this front foot, I'm going to move my block so you can see. This front foot is going to pull back. So imagine you're trying to drag your foot back. You're not going to really do it, but you're going to engage the muscles that would allow this dragging feeling. Okay, so that dragging feeling, we're going to hold that. And then at the same time, we're going to take a bow a little deeper, just to where it feels like, oh, that's enough. Come back up. Bow and lift. So if your hands are, you don't have a block, you're just having fingertips on the mat. 1 more. And come up and release. All right, bend your front knee. You're going to step backwards and take a big stretch with those blocks. Stretch. Arms are on the blocks, hands are on the blocks, or fingertips on the mat. And then come up and switch legs. So we're stepping the left foot forward, the right foot back. Okay, so we're finding ourselves in our lunge again. So we'll repeat all that we did on the other side. Okay, knee over ankle, lengthen. Hands gentle on the blocks or the mat. So you can still do this with hands here, totally fine. Knee down, lift. Straighten the front leg and repeat. Come forward in your lunge. Go slow enough that you get your form. Knee down, lift. Lengthen that front leg, bend and come forward. Knee down, lift. Lengthen that front leg, come forward. Knee down, lift, lengthen that front leg, come forward. Once more, knee down, lift, lengthen that front leg, come forward. And then pause here. Okay, we're going to come all the way up, and get steady. Once again, hands can be at heart center, or they can lift overhead. So just check the alignment on the knee. Your core is engaged. You're pulling everything to midline. This is gentle squeezing. You're pulling everything around your leg too. Arms can lift if you like or stay at heart center. I'm going to bend that back knee down 3 times. 1. Doesn't have to touch. Go as far as you want. 2 and 3. Release it up. Hands come back behind your head. So I'll be twisting away from you. Stay tall. Twist to the bent knee. Twist to center. Twist, center, twist, center, twist, center, and release. Hands down to the blocks. Okay, you're back in your lunge, and here we go. We're going to squeeze inner thighs together as hard as you can. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. And again, squeeze and release. And then hold here. We're going to come into pyramid. Straighten the front leg. Back foot comes forward. So if you don't have blocks, your hands are on the mat. We're going to be about halfway lifted. Relax the shoulders. Long neck. Belly's pulling in. Then you're going to lower, bow, and come up. Keep your back straight. Don't round the back. Bow and come up. Bow and up. 1 more. Bow and up. Okay, take a step back. So you're in a long stretch. Stretch the arms over on the blocks. Take a breath. And come forward and release. Come on up. Okay. So we did our little hinging, our warrior 3. We're going to do a warrior 3 with foot on the wall. Hopefully you have a wall nearby. And the blocks in front of us. Now, again, if you don't have blocks, you can have hands on the mat, but it's definitely nice to have this lift. All right, so what I want to do is I want my foot on the wall so that I can extend it straight. My toes are down. So take a look at that. This is how we're going to set up. Blocks in front, leg behind, and you can see I'm kind of off my mat a little bit, which is fine, just so I can get to the wall. So I'm going to press my heel on the wall. I'm going to lengthen my back, so I'm in a warrior 3 here. Make sure your toes are facing down in that back leg. Then you're going to hold and just kind of notice where is the work in the leg. So for me, it's my standing leg. It's really my standing leg, and it's really inner thigh. Those smaller muscles in my deep six hip muscles are working really hard. I can really feel my hamstrings as well. Take one more breath. Lower down and just kind of come up for a moment, let that go so you really feel a difference between the legs as you do this. Okay, here we go, second side, fold, hands on the block, left foot on the wall, step it forward, foot down, lengthen, and hold. Relax the shoulders, belly up and in. Maybe a slight bend in the knee, maybe not. Shoulders relax. Press the heel into the wall. One more deep breath. And lower down and release and come on up. That might have been a little bit less on that side, but that's okay. We'll get back there. All right, let that go. So that's warrior three, foot on the wall. So now we're going to do opposite with our hands on the wall, and our leg will be free floating. So hopefully you've got that idea of pressing that foot long. You really pressed it into the wall. Then coming around to the second side. Anytime that you're watching these videos and you didn't quite get something, go back and do it again. That's the luxury of doing that, right? Okay, now I'm going to put my hands on the wall. Hopefully you'll be able to see. I'm trying to kind of be straight here. So my hands are on the wall and I'm going to lengthen. So make sure that you're in an L shape first. And the head can be down a little bit. Gaze can be a little forward, but we just don't want the head to be dangling or to be lifting way up. Okay, so my hands aren't exactly even. I just noticed. So I'm going to lift them up a little bit. I'm going to press weight into my left foot and I'm going to lift my right foot behind. And I'm going to hold here. Take 2 or 3 more deep breaths. Make sure that your toes are facing down. So you don't want to rotate open. You want to keep that leg down. One more breath. Lower down. Okay, we're going to stay right here. Second side, lift and press. And press and hold. Now if your pelvis is lifted, just settle it down, toes down, straight behind you. If you're not sure, see if you press your heel away if you feel straight. See if your back feels straight and put your hand there for a moment. Lower down. Come on up, shake your hands and release. All right, we're gonna play with warrior three without the wall now, and you'll feel that difference with the balance. Now if you'd like, you'd have blocks. And then that way you can have your hands on blocks. You can try without blocks, or you're going to have the blocks as your little safety net. All right, so standing somewhere on your mat, anywhere is fine. Let's start with hands at heart center, my favorite way to start. And we practice that little hinging at the beginning. So we're going to come into it that exact same way. So we have our right foot is going to be our steady leg first, and then we're just going to hinge that left foot behind. And see if you can find balance. If not, if you're not getting it today like I wasn't, hands on the blocks. And then come back in, right? Just come back in. Arms can come out behind you or come into full stick pose with the hands in front and hold. One more breath. Release and come on up. So we practice grace too. Doesn't always mean we look graceful. It just means, my earring just came off, it just means that as we practice, we just gracefully work with wherever we're at today. If that means you follow the pose, you follow the pose, and then you just come back in again. So work wherever it feels okay. All right, standing up nice and tall. Second side, I like hands at heart center. If you want to start with them different, that's totally fine. So we're going to go opposite leg, press the weight in, bring your foot back, and hold. And release the arms if you want to your side, or bring them out in front. Bring them to blocks, bring them to the floor. Floor's fine, here's okay. Okay, wherever you want to be. Take 2 more breaths, try to keep lengthening and holding. 1 more breath. Release and come up. So another suggestion as you practice these warrior three poses, I'm on 2 mats, carpet, kind of a wobbly surface. Try it on a floor, try it on a tile floor, try it on a wood floor, try it outside on the cement. It'll feel different in all those different surfaces. So just kind of play with that. There's no reason why you couldn't balance on something squishy, but you might find that you get into the pose a little easier on a different surface. Okay, so let's kind of work out these hip flexors a little bit. We're just gonna kind of squat back and come up. Then we're gonna take a little stretch. We're gonna bring our knee up, whatever one you grab is fine, and hold. And we'll come into a quad stretch. You can bring that leg behind. If you feel unsteady, just grab a wall, bring a hand to the wall, and hold, release. All right, second side, knee up, and bring that leg back, and release. Okay, so we're not done with our quads. We're still gonna work a little bit here. Set your blocks aside. I think we might be done with them. And take your stance a little wide. So we're gonna come into goddess pose. So we're gonna get some inner thigh going as well. Take the toes out, take a little turn out, and now check your knees. So if I knock my knees in, see how bad that is on my knees? I want my knees out so they're really getting supported here. Knees out, press in. So just get that first. Bring your hands down to your thighs and get this kind of strong movement here. Press open the thighs. And then come up into goddess, pull the belly up, bend your arms. Okay, we're gonna lift our arms up here. We're gonna do a little arm work here. We're gonna draw the elbows in, bring the arms out. So stay steady in the quads. If you need to come up, come up. Squeeze and open, squeeze and open. One more, squeeze and open. Then hold here. We're gonna come down farther, farther, farther. Hands to the thighs. Okay, come down. You're gonna press your legs open. You're gonna stay long. And we're gonna take a little glide side to side, working in those quads. And we're gonna hold here and get a stretch. So we did this at the beginning, a little smaller movement. Right shoulder comes over to the left, and you're gonna come down. Now keep pressing open in those inner thighs. So we're doing a little work here too. Pressing those thighs open, stretch. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, go to the other side, stretch. Inhale, come to center. Come on up. Take a little breath. We're gonna come back in though. Those legs relax. Second down, arms up. So we're coming back to our goddess pose. Press it down. So you've probably done goddess pose several times, but this time we're gonna hold a little bit more, work it a little bit more. So feel what's working there. Feel those quads, right? Feel this kind of heat going and building as they work. See if you can press open too. Get the outer thigh, inner thigh working. You're getting your hamstrings are going a little bit too. But that brunt of the work is the quads, right? Come down a little more, a little more, a little more. Lift. Once more. Down, down, down. Lift and release. Take those legs in. Shake them out. So in our yoga, chair pose, goddess pose, all these things that really use our quads, we're kind of getting those in today. Grab your blocks now. We are going to do some work with our blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can do without and just do your arms down. Now, so what we're going to do is some push-ups and get into the upper body. So here the hands can either be on the blocks, and you're going to come back either knees. So this is position one, or we're going to come up here and do our work here. Now, if you don't have blocks, I have a spider on my mat. This is some interesting day here. So I'm going to just see if I can get him to move along, and we'll see if I can find him later. Okay. See, all those things that happen in your home practice. We all get interrupted, right? So well, that's what practice is. You come back over and over again. Okay, so position one, elbows stay close. We're going to do some push-ups. Position two, and if you don't have blocks, you'll do this without the blocks. Okay, so press the floor away, hold in your push-up position, in your plank, pull the belly up and in. Nice and strong. Don't let those hips sag. Don't let that pelvis come down. All right, we're gonna glide forward on our toes. We're gonna lower down just an inch or two, press away. Lower, press, lower, press. 3 more, down, up, up. Last one, and release. Come down to the knees, have a sit back, take a breath, let that go. So we're working biceps, triceps, chest, upper body. Everything kind of works quite a bit when we're doing our planking and our push-up. We're gonna do one more set. Choose if you wanna do knees, totally fine. Be sure though if you're doing knees, we don't want the pelvis to come down, right? We're working the arms. Okay, here we go. We're gonna do 5. Nice and strong. Down, up, down, up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Knees down. Have a little sit back and release. All right, while we're here, let's do some squats. So what we're gonna do is come up now. I would say grab your block if you'd like. If you don't need your block, that's okay. So I'm just gonna kind of walk around in my squat. If you need a block, just put it under your butt, and then you've got that support. If you can do it without a block, take your block away, come into your squat. If you need hands on a block, you can do hands on a block. Okay, hands at heart center. I'm gonna press open. Now, if any of you have knee issues, or this is way too much, stack your blocks or a low stool, something like that, so you can still get the squat in, but keep that support. Okay, so here's the work. We're gonna press our knees away, squeeze them in at the same time. So you're pressing with your elbows and you're squeezing in, like your elbows and your knees are having a little fight, but neither's gonna win. All right, hold. Keep squeezing, 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 keep breathing, and then we'll release butt to ground and come down. Set your blocks aside, and we're gonna go ahead and do a little more work with this band. Bring the legs long, bring the theraband across the feet. All right, sit up nice and tall. So once again, if you don't have a band and you're in town in Morgan Hill, contact me and we can make connection to get you bands. If you're out of town, you can order lots of different places. You can also email me at info@artofyoga.com and we can make arrangements to get one sent to you. All right, so grab onto the band with your left hand. Sit up nice and tall. We're gonna bring our right arm out and we're just gonna do kind of a stretch back here. We're gonna hold and come back and hold and hold and hold. And keep reaching, keep those legs anchored, and then come back. Grab it with your right hand. Take a lean back, bring the arm back and hold. Keep reaching, and then come forward and release. Okay, so we're gonna start with a partial roll down. Press the feet in, hang on to the band. So as you come down, you're gonna curl the belly and take a little reach, and you're gonna come down just so your lower tips of your shoulder blades come down. You're gonna keep the chin tucked, and then you're gonna roll back up. And again, tuck, pull the belly in, roll, pull up. So you're gonna keep that going, really press your feet into the mat. If your feet are coming up, then just don't go quite as far. So you'll get stronger in your core as you do this, and then you won't have to worry about your feet coming up. If, though, you have a sandbag, that can go across the legs. Good, and again. And again. Good. All right, come on up. So we're gonna do one more. I'm scooting forward because I kind of lost it, just scooting back there. Make sure your band is nice and long. We're gonna do another arm thing, but we're gonna come all the way down to the mat. So you're gonna let the head come down and be nice and long. So we're gonna pull the band up. We're gonna bend the elbows. So it's a little tricep. I'm gonna pull and bend and straighten the arms. Pull, bend the arms, straighten them down. A few more. Bend, release, bend, release, bend, release, and let that go. All right, keep the band where it is. Bring your legs straight up to the ceiling. So we've got the band around the feet. We're gonna hang on to the band, give it some tension, so I like it about at my knees. I'm gonna stretch through my heels, let the head relax, lower that band down, and bring the band up. Good, lower and up. Keep tucking the chin, lower and up, and lower and up. Two more, lower and up, lower and up. All right, hold here, relax that band, elbows to the mat. We're going to take the left leg out, right leg stays in. Lower your leg to the mat. Okay, curl up. Now, so our work's going to be actually in the leg that does not have the band on it. So we want our hands in close. Now, if this is too much to curl, grab a block and put it underneath your head. Okay, we're going to draw that left leg in. Float your leg up that has the band around it. Press the leg away. Tuck it in. Press and tuck. 2 more. Last one. Release. Lower the head. Take your band leg up to the ceiling and give it a nice little stretch. Kind of pull it in and release. Take the other leg in. Left leg for me. Lower down. Lower the leg with the strap to the mat. Curl up. Hold onto the band. Knee in. Now I'm going to float my leg up, but you can always leave it down. Press away. You can always put something behind your head. Press back in. So your loose leg is pressing and tucking, lengthening and bending, length and bend. Lower down, head down, leg up to the ceiling. Make sure that your hands are kind of loose a little bit, and then take a stretch with that leg again and release. Okay, let go of that band. Come around to your belly. And we're going to start with just a sphinx here to stretch. Elbows underneath, fingers wide. Lift it up and lengthen. And lower, back down. Okay, hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to do some cobra push-ups. Elbows stay tucked, very close. Lift and lengthen. Lower. So you go up as far as it feels okay. That might be just here. Lift and lengthen. Lower. Lift and lengthen. And lower. Okay, hands behind your side. So we're going to do what I like to call locust pull-ups. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift, and we're going to use our back and leg muscles to do that. So we're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Now if this is too much, you can just do the legs. A few more. Make sure your low back's not pinching. Use that upper body strength. Use the leg strength. 2 more. Last one. And release. Hands underneath. Press up. Go ahead and take either a puppy pose or a child's pose. Puppy pose, hips are lifted, arms are out, forehead on the mat. Child's pose is sitting all the way back. I really like the back stretch that I get in a puppy pose. Release and come up to hands and knees. Okay, we're going to do another little work here, and then we'll come back on our back, do one more little work, and then we'll stretch. Take your left leg behind. So just like we did as we were standing, so it's the same position. That leg's really long, so it should be pretty easy. Bring your opposite arm out. Lower down. Okay, keep the hand down and take the knee to the elbow. Swing it to center, extend it back. Knee to elbow, swing to center, extend. One more. Knee to elbow, swing to center, extend, lower down. Second side, leg is long. I got a wall here. Maybe you're touching a wall, it's okay. Opposite arm out. Lower the hand, keep the leg lifted. Knee to elbow, swing to center, extend. Knee to elbow, swing to center, extend. And again, knee to elbow, center, extend, lower down. Okay, we're gonna go to kind of a side supported plank. So I'm on my right side, my knees down, my hands down, my left leg's out, and my left arm comes up. So there we are in this side plank, and we're gonna take that arm over and get a bigger stretch. Bring the arm back to the ceiling. Okay, so holding here, I have toes tucked under, a little more stable for me that way. I'm gonna lift my leg up. I'm gonna hold, I'm gonna press that leg away. So we're working here and lengthening that leg again. Okay, I'm gonna lower my arm down. Just kind of feel the difference. How does that feel different when you lower the arm? Lift the arm back up. Lower the leg down. And then come on up. Okay, knees. We'll go right to the other side. Left hand down, left knee down. Right leg extended, right arm up. Take that arm over and stretch it out. Bring it up to the ceiling. Lift your leg. So you're in that same leg stretching position. Lower your arm down. Again, just see how it feels. For me, it's kind of a nice relief on my neck, and my leg has to work a little harder. Arm up. Lower your leg. And this time come around to hands and knees and take a puppy pose again. Just a couple of deep breaths. And release it down. We're going to come all the way to our backs, do a couple more ab things, and then we'll do a little stretching. Okay, so all the way down on your belly. Bring your hands behind your head. Keeping the feet on the mat first. Curl and lower, curl and lower. One more, curl and lower. Okay, keep the elbows wide, keep the hands where they're at. So now we're going to just take the legs in. Legs tuck and lower. Both legs, tuck and lower. So notice how the pelvis is moving here. How does your back feel? Can you keep pulling the belly to the spine? Okay, lower. Okay, so now you can probably guess next one is going to do both. Elbows stay wide. Curl and lower. Keep the chin tucked. Tuck in and lower. Tuck and lower. Tuck and lower. Tuck. Two more. Tuck. Last one. Woo. Tuck. All right. Lift the arms overhead. Lengthen the legs. Get a nice big stretch. And release. Okay. One more here. We're going to have the feet stay on the mat for this. We're going to go side to side. So you can either have hands behind the head or you can have your arms out. Arms out is going to be a little more challenging. Tuck and lift. And you're going to reach to one side. So if your hands are behind your head, you're here. And we're going to pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center, reach, or hands behind. And then go the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, take a little break. We're going to do that one more time. Okay, be sure that when you're coming down, you're going to pull that belly in and try to get that low back on the mat. We don't want that big lift in the low back because then we're straining our back. So you can imagine that back muscle when it's like this, when you're lifted versus like this. Okay, here we go. Reach. Hands can be behind the head. We're going to reach to the side, to the right first. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Center. Twist to the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on back and lower down. Hug the knees to the chest. Turn side to side. Now take this kind of really rocking side to side. Quite a bit here. And take both your legs straight up to the ceiling. Grab on the backs of the thighs and just really reach, reach, reach. You can take both legs a little bit overhead if you like. And take them back down. Okay, I'm going to cross over. So you come upside down like you're upside down crisscross. Hang on to the feet. Pull the feet in so you get this nice stretch in the hips. Keep the chin tucked. And release. Go to the other side. Cross it over. Nice tuck. And release. Take both arms long, both legs long. Stretch it out as long as you want. And so we're going to do like very, very short Shavasana. And I'll do it with you. Hands at your side, palms lifted. Close your eyes for a moment. See if you can allow shoulders to sink more in the mat, hips to sink more. Open up the fingers and the toes. Nice deep breath. Let it go of the mouth. And then just breathe gently. Take some focus on your hip flexors. Like, what do you feel in your hip flexors right now? Does it feel warm, tingly? Do you know where your hip flexors are? This is that part where if you were to bend your knees right now and draw your knees in, it's where that hip flexes in. Notice the quadriceps. So our quads can take a lot of work. If you're a runner, a biker, even a walker, you use those legs a lot. But if we can kind of keep them really strong and working, protect our knee. And then as we rest, we just want to kind of let them go. So you can imagine that you have these big 4 muscles that are in the front of the thighs. How do those feel? Imagine the outer leg and the inner leg. How does those feel? And then come into the abdominal wall and let that just kind of melt away. The core work that we did. Come up into the arms and notice the biceps in the front of the arms by 2, so there's 2 big muscles there. Triceps, back of the arms, 3 muscles there. Just gonna let those go. And we'll take an inhale, bring the arms overhead, great big stretch. And let's tuck the knees into the chest as you curl up and start to rock up, just coming up to seated and have a comfortable seat. We'll take a great big breath together, bring the arms out, inhale, arms up to the ceiling, great big reach, and then exhale and bring your arms down, hands on your lap or anywhere you'd like them to be. So as you finish your practice today, if you feel you want more stretching, take it. If you want to let go and take a longer Shavasana, feel free to do that as well. Whatever works for your body. I highly suggest that with these videos that you find your favorites, that you repeat them, and just try things over and over again, and then try it on your own. Do your own practice that you bring into your favorite poses and your favorite challenges.